tonight. Also, I'm going to take this time right now to introduce, so funny, Eric, you and I were, and as well as Billy, we were talking there in the green room, and I always like to make sure I have everybody's first names. Now I'm just looking at your last name. Hold on.
Take your best shot.
I'm going to take my best shot. Yaverbaum.
Pretty close. If my mom isn't watching, you'd get away with it. Yaverbaum.
Yaverbaum. All righty. Nice to see you, Eric.
Well, thanks for having me.
Eric, by the way, is the president of Ericho Communications and co-founder of readtovote.org.
Yes.
And sitting over here is Billy Hallowell, and Billy is a political commentator for BillyHallowell.com. All right. Good to see both of you. This kind of, well, it's okay now here in New York, but it's going to get a little crazy. It's cold. Want to let everybody know some of the topics we're going to be discussing today. Again, one is the Arizona suspect could face the death penalty for the attack. We're going to get everybody's opinions on that, and if you want to chime in as well. And then also Obama's crisis response evolves from Fort Hood massacre to Tucson rampage. Again, we have that story on foxnews.com, but we'll get our panelists to weigh in on how they feel about this, and we have a guest as well. And then also friends and critics dispute Arizona sheriff's remarks on the political rhetoric in the wake of the rampage. And again, all of these stories in detail are on foxnews.com. So take a look there, and of course everybody's mind and hearts are with Representative Gabrielle Giffords. In fact, she's still in the hospital there at the University Medical Center in Tucson, and we're awaiting Mike Tobin. He's there on scene, and momentarily we're going to get a live report from Mike. The latest reports that I'm reading is that Congresswoman Giffords' condition is the same, so we'll talk to Mike. He's there on scene, as I said, so he'll give us more details. And while we're waiting to get to Mike, before we get too deep into the discussions, Eric and Billy, I'd just like to take a moment, just sort of in the wake of everything that's going on, would like to know just your thoughts.
Well, I think that this is one unfortunate, random, crazy person that's turned into a big political debate. I think that as a macro observation, I think that's unfortunate. I don't think that they're related. I don't think it is a political debate. I think it's one crazy person who had access to a weapon that he shouldn't have.
And then we'll get into the political part of it in a moment, but it just is one of those crazy acts, as you say, and unfortunate occurrences that just sort of makes you pause and sort of do a quick evaluation of your own life and where you are, and just kind of on a philosophical, I don't know if you've had any kind of thoughts on that level.
It just shows you how short life can be, and it makes you appreciate your life a little bit. And I would agree with you. I think it's really unfortunate where we've gone politically with this, and really both sides now engaging in the debate, with the left kind of starting that argument, and it really just did not need to go there. So I think we need to be moving away from that and moving more towards thinking about the victims, reflecting, as you were saying, and just moving forward.
I mean, we were talking in the green room before about when I spoke at Times Square. I'm a Democrat. I got up on the stage where I got booed from the time that I got up on the stage. I never.
Who was in the crowd?
What's that?
Who were you speaking before? What audience?
The Tea Party. This was the Tea Party. It was a Tea Party rally, and it was a big one. And there was an enormous amount of security there. I never once felt. I know people did not. Agree with my perspective, just as I know many of the people that watch me here don't agree with my perspective. Yet I think it's so important that we have that intellectual friction, that intellectual conversation. We get better answers. I think everybody should keep doing that until we do get better answers. I think right now as a country, we're in trouble.
Let me ask you right now, because reminding everybody at the moment, the poll today, or the question on today's foxnews.com You Decide question is, should all members of Congress be given their own security details? The question is, the options are yes, no, or not sure. And again, while we're waiting for an update from Mike Tobin, before we get really deep into our topics, let me ask you, what do you think? Billy, I'll start with you. Should all members of Congress be given their own security details?
My heart instant reaction is yes. And then my gut reaction is the expense of that and what that would cost. It's very, very costly to hire personnel for everybody in Congress. At the same time, if we start seeing a line of these events happening, we may need to do that, which would be extremely unfortunate.
What do you say, Billy?
I say that my name's not Billy, it's Eric.
I'm sorry, Eric.
I mean, we don't even look alike.
Eric Yaverbaum.
Yeah,
sorry,
you got that right.
What's my name? Don't look. See, fair is fair.
Yeah, that is not fair on
It
live
is fair.
television. That
It's
is
all
not
right.
fair.
It's all good. The question today is, should all members of Congress be given their own security details? Yes, no, or you're not sure. All right, Eric, what's your take?
Nah, I hope that because all of us are talking about this and will for a very long time on television, it doesn't become the crime du jour. But I think that we're getting carried away with ourselves. If you go, the environment in Washington, D.C., if you're there, it's very different from the environment if you go back to any congressperson's local town.
Well, then maybe that's it. Maybe it's, I don't know, Billy, what do you, and Eric has the floor, but just throwing another thought out there or question, is it when they're doing the Congress on your corner type events, maybe that's when the local and state authorities can somehow work something out to where they can do extra detail or whatever.
Well, Billy's right about it. I mean, the expense for security, that type of security, is extraordinary. It's not like again, not a reason to make a decision, but I hope this country hasn't come to the point where we have to do that. That would be a sad statement about the United States, I think.
I do think it's probably smart when there are public events, and I'm sure most local communities will do this, where they will beef up the security just because they don't want this happening on their watch. So, yeah,
and I'm
absolutely.
sure there are ways, I'm sure, God bless you. I'm sorry, someone just sneezed in my natural reaction.
God bless you, whoever it is out there.
I don't know if you guys could hear it.
The whole newsroom is covered.
But yeah, I'd imagine, and again, I mean, that your local sheriff's deputies, the sheriff's department, the local police force, they somehow may be able to, when you know that they're having a Congress on your corner event, they can somehow arrange, restack the deck, if you will, in terms of making sure that those events are covered, the representatives are covered, but yet it's not incurring, the department's not incurring extremely exorbitant overtime fees.
Absolutely.
So it's like, okay, you already work 6 hours, you've already, you know what I mean? So
and it's not a full-time security detail.
Instead of you working, Wednesday, Thursday having off, or take Wednesday, Thursday off because I need you to work Saturday. I don't know if it's that simple, but I'd imagine there's those types of conversations.
That's the thing, it's not that simple. It's that I mean, if you really want to have real security, if you really want to make sure that when you're walking into that building you're secure, it's not a simple proposition. It's not. It isn't a few extra hours. It's a lot of extra hours, and it's a lot of extra people.
No, it's a full-on.
Yeah, I mean,
shift.
But there is a big difference between event security and personal, security.
Right, that's true.